Jason Miller was invisible. At least, that's how it always felt. At 31, he lived in a small apartment in Chicago, worked a regular office job, and followed the same routine every single day. Wake up, go to work, come back home, scroll through his phone, sleep, and repeat. He wasn't ugly. He wasn't poor. He wasn't even boring. But when it came to women, he was always overlooked. At parties, women laughed with other guys. At cafes, they smiled at someone else. On social media, his messages were seen, but never replied to. Jason used to think, maybe I'm just not good enough. And slowly, that thought started becoming his reality. One Friday night, everything changed. Jason was invited to a small gathering by his coworker. He didn't want to go, but something inside him said, just go. Maybe this time will be different. When he arrived, it was the same story. Loud guys telling jokes, confident men surrounded by women, and Jason, standing quietly in the corner. He picked up a drink and stood there, observing. That's when he noticed someone. Across the room was a man named Daniel. Daniel wasn't the best-looking guy either. He wasn't the richest. He wasn't even trying to be the center of attention. But people were naturally drawn to him. Women laughed at his simple jokes. They leaned in when he spoke. They listened. Jason couldn't understand it. What does he have that I don't? He wondered. Later that night, Jason found himself standing next to Daniel. After a moment of silence, Jason finally asked, "Hey man, can I ask you something?" Daniel smiled. "Sure." Jason hesitated, then said, "How do you do it? You're not even trying." "But everyone's drawn to you." Daniel chuckled softly. "I used to be like you," he said. Jason frowned. "Like me?" "Yeah," Daniel replied. "Always trying too hard. Always seeking attention. Always available." Jason felt exposed. Daniel continued, "But then I realized something. People don't respect what's always available." Jason listened carefully. "So what did you change?" he asked. Daniel took a sip of his drink and said, "I stopped chasing. I started building." Jason looked confused. Daniel explained, "I started focusing on my life, my goals, my health, my mindset. I stopped trying to impress people and started improving myself." He paused, then added, "And something strange happened. People started noticing." Jason went home that night, thinking deeply. For the first time, he didn't blame his looks. He didn't blame his luck. He asked himself a simple question. What if the problem is how I see myself? The next few months changed everything. Jason stopped wasting time scrolling endlessly. He joined a gym. He started reading books. He worked on his confidence. He didn't do it for women. He did it for himself. At first, nothing happened. No sudden attention. No dramatic changes. But slowly, things started shifting. His posture improved. His voice became stronger. His energy changed. And people noticed. One evening, Jason walked into a coffee shop. He ordered his drink and sat down, focused on his laptop. That's when a girl named Sophia walked in. She glanced around, and her eyes stopped on Jason. There was something different about him. He wasn't trying to get attention. He wasn't looking around nervously. He was calm, focused, present. Sophia felt curious. After a few minutes, she walked up to him and said, "Hey, is this seat taken?" Jason looked up, smiled, and said, "Go ahead." They started talking. And for the first time in his life, Jason wasn't trying to impress. He was just being himself. Later, Sophia asked him, "You seem different. What changed?" Jason smiled and said, "I stopped trying to be liked and started becoming someone I respect." And that was the moment everything made sense. Because the truth is simple. Women are not attracted to desperation. They are not impressed by constant attention. They are drawn to a man who has purpose, a man who respects himself, a man who is not afraid to walk his own path. Jason was never invisible. He just needed to see his own value first.